What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with Lord Jonathan Tene. Today, we gotta catch up a little bit on EVO. Yeah, another super major in Guilty Gear Strive's history. So, we want to talk a bit about like the finals, like the top 6, character spread, and just how the tournament went overall. How did it go for you?
I got 9th, spoilers. I was kind of concerned about my bracket initially because I was like, okay, I have to play Zondo for top 6 because this is the first time I did the top 6, which is a blow up. They shouldn't. And Zondo lost very early to an Anji player, which meant I should have had the dream top 8 run because it was Jiro, who I'd beaten before, and then Nubenheimer, who I had beaten probably like 7 or 8 times in a row since the last time I had lost to him, which was almost a year ago. And I'm playing pretty bad. I beat Jiro game 5 and then get 3-0'd by Nubenheimer pretty quickly, which sucks because that's the first time I've lost to him in a million years, but whatever. And then in losers, basically last EVO, I went to losers and started zooming immediately and then lost instantly, which was bad.
Happens to the best of us.
I tried not to do that. I almost lose to Hotashi game 5, which was really spooky. I haven't lost to him in probably a year and a half. And then I beat Bean, which is actually one of the matches I was the most scared of, like the whole tournament chip. And then I lost to Verix, which is another doggo. But to be fair, I think Verix is like one of the best players in the world against Zato. He's definitely the best player in that matchup. So I was a lot less upset losing that one. It was just a really long day, so I feel like I ran out of steam. And playing against Nago when you run out of steam is just hard.
Pain. Yeah, it's really, really hard.
That's
it's
like, I feel like that's how I lose
about.
at every tournament at this point.
Before like comments or like, you're making excuses, blah, blah, blah. Like the EVO experience is really different. It's not even like, oh, it's EVO. It's just quite literally, there's too many people. All the best people are there. And there's a lot of extra factors. Sometimes when I think about like my best EVO runs, most of them are with characters that are kind of easy, like not super technical, or even the case like the Lightyear, she went from being hyper technical to much simpler in that version, and we only had 2 months, so even if she was super technical, I didn't know. That factor, like you playing Zato and all that, there's only so much, like how much decision making can you really do while Nago matches like backdash and far slash and you know like that type of stuff.
I will say that matchup is good for Zato, which is why it kind of sucks that I lost it, but it's good for Zato, but you have to be like really on point, I think, to win it. And not all the Zatos think it's good either, but I do. It sucks. It's demanding.
So my run was shorter. I got I believe 65th this time. The beginning started really well actually. I ran into Red Ditto, who I think got like 13th or something.
Got 9th.
Got 9th. Okay. And that match is pretty hard. It's a Ram Baiken. Ram Baiken, while I think it's doable, you have to do a lot of extra stuff, and you have to be right on that stuff. And if you're wrong on that stuff, you die. And I was wrong a lot, so be like that sometimes. Then in losers, I had my kind of typical bad super major luck of I ran into a matchup I don't know, which of course is my responsibility, of course. I ran into Remy / Axel, and it was actually a pretty good set, despite me not being prepared for it. That pretty much ended my run. I wasn't really like mad though. The whole day I was like, I'm so used to playing like a 2,000 man tournament that I think one of the strats is to just use as little energy talking to people as possible.
I should have done that.
Like outside of like friends or Beastcoast stuff, shout out to Beastcoast. Like if people ask me for photos and stuff, I would do it. I would do that type of stuff, but I would be very like curt. I'd be like, thank you, I gotta play. And then when I was playing casuals, I didn't talk to anybody. I was playing casuals, and high key, I think it helped. I definitely think it helped. I think if I was more tired, I would have gotten memed a little bit harder. But I felt fine. What do you think about the top 6 though?
So I think a big factor, by the way, with EVO and like just like really big majors in general is that if it's top 8 finals in one day or top 6 or whatever, right? The people who get to that part aren't necessarily going to be the best chances to like actually win it, because the people who get there are the people who are going to be playing well after 10 hours, and it's an endurance thing more than it is like a peak performance thing, right? Everybody's playing bad, so it's can you play the least bad like to qualify for top 8 or top 6. Once you get there, then you're well rested. You have a day to prep also, which I think makes a really big difference. So I think the environments are actually really different, and they kind of demand different things too. So like once top 6 was settled, I always said like Leffen has like 40% chance to win this tournament, which is really high, right? It's also why like, you know, like obviously Nago is a lot worse in that environment when you're not, you know, tired and stuff like that. Happy Chaos is also a lot better because Happy Chaos, the decision making maybe isn't that crazy, but the execution definitely is. And especially with a lot of the characters in that like finals, actually all of them, they all either punish you really hard for making mistakes, or they have DPs, or both, like Soul. In terms of character diversity, 2 Nagos is pretty unsurprising, 2 DP characters, pretty unsurprising, and then Ino is also a great like long tournament day type of character. So I'd say the only really big surprise size is actually Chaos. Even though Chaos is probably the best character out of the ones that I just listed, he's definitely like the last character you want to be playing on like 10-hour long day. You know, I'm exhausted, I'm messing up, all that. I think the hardest part of that tournament for Leffen is actually probably getting to top 6 rather than winning it.
I was under the opinion that like technically there's probably out of the 2,500 or so people that entered Guilty Gear Strive, probably around like 20 people could win.
Yeah, 15, 20.
20 could win. The problem is getting there. just getting there and getting through it. Because one thing people also usually talk about is like, oh, you know, you're talking about like, you're tired, 10-hour days, boohoo, right? Why don't they just make it 4 days? Every year, maybe they won't do it this year because maybe they learned by now, but almost every year they have a survey, and one of the questions they ask at EVO is, do you want it to be 4 days? And people always say no. They keep on figuring out ways to run thousands of entrants in like 3 days. It was just, everyone goes through it until they make it on Sunday.
Because a lot of people were mad about having no casual setups this year, which obviously does suck. It's a problem, but it's probably a good thing in exchange for the scheduling for the bracket. Last year, there were less entrants and there were Saturday pools. And Saturday pools means that you're literally playing from 10 a.m. to like 12 a.m. Actually, yeah. You're playing that long the entire bracket, which is like
even worse.
So for context, one person with Saturday pools last year made top 8, and it was Daru. Everyone else had a Friday pool. I think Saturday pools being gone is definitely a good sacrifice to make for having less setups, for sure. But it does suck. No Zatos in finals. That's performing character, by the way. Right, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know how you know that there were no Zatos in finals, and you know that's crazy. You just got nerfed. And see you guys next time.